Hey guys, what's up? We are back in Stormworks. We're getting right into the build. This is our PvP map. Once again, we've been working on this. There's only a few more episodes of this left. I plan on getting this released this week, so stick around, stay tuned for that. I'll make an announcement on my YouTube channel and in Discord and whatnot when it's done. But right now we are just kind of working on the map again. So in the last episode, I kind of told you that we're going to be putting a bigger building over on this side on the right of the tower. So that's kind of what we're working on now. I'm just making a kind of long tunnel. We also kind of discussed that a little bit. This is a little bit inspired from Counter-Strike. I'm sure you guys can tell where this is on Dust 2. But anyways, enough of that. If you guys like this series, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to get this build wrapped up and then the land crawler wrapped up. And I just started a new build. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. We're going to be building an oil rig. It's a pretty long, complex build, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting. And I'm going to try to kind of explain a lot of how that works along the way. So if you guys are unfamiliar or you want to learn more about how the drilling in this game works, definitely check that series out. But enough of that. Like I said, we're going to get right into the building. So right now I am just quickly getting this building down, and then we're going to kind of start adding more to the rest of the level and making sure all the cover is where I want it and whatnot. But in the meantime, I am going to let the time lapse roll real quick just at the beginning of the episode, and then we'll talk a lot more about it. Just kind of like the rest of the episode or videos in this series. I want to get a lot of the building done, and then I'll talk quite a bit more about what necessarily we've added and why I've added it and that kind of thing. So all right, so we did some minor detailing, and I'm going to keep this pretty light. I mentioned this in the last couple of episodes. I don't want to detail the heck out of this map just because I want it to kind of run smoothly for most players. And because of that, I'm not going to really do too much of the inside of the buildings. I'm more going to be worried about where the windows are and that kind of thing. But this is probably also a pretty good time to mention, if you guys haven't, check out our Discord. I actually recently just put a poll in a chat called the Potential Tournament Chat. So what I'm planning on doing is, if there's enough of you interested, I kind of want to host like a tournament on this map, probably teams of 2. But, if you don't have a teammate, that's all right. We can always pair you up with somebody else in the Discord. But yeah, if you guys are interested in that, definitely check the link below. I'm going to leave a link to our Discord below, and then just go ahead and vote in that poll. You guys got a couple days. I think you'll have 2 more days when this video comes out. So again, if you're just kind of interested in that, I thought it would be something fun we could probably do for this build, and kind of with the Discord group, and it probably would be pretty fun to film too, and just kind of see who's the best team. But yeah, that's enough of that. That is just another kind of fun little thing that we're doing. And, again, if you're interested in that, check it out. But right now I am kind of working on just adding a little bit of detail back here. It's a little plain, so I don't want to add too many windows on this back side of it, because I want people to kind of be able to get into the building. But, on the front side of it, I want there to be a good amount of areas that you can kind of, I guess not really areas, but kind of like angles that you can hold and whatnot, especially after that bomb gets turned on. So that's kind of what we're working on here. I'm just going to add some holes here or there to the map, and just kind of break up the walls a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting. I do plan on adding a tractor back here, actually, funny enough. So stick around for that. That's kind of fun. The other team will get a go-kart, so they're not really practical or useful. I just think it's kind of a funny addition to be able to drive something around inside this map. And, I don't know if I've mentioned this, there is a door on the backside of the map, which you can open, like a sealable door. And that is large enough to kind of fit some larger vehicles in here too. So if you want to mess around with your friends and maybe, bring up like a Jeep or a mini tank or something, if you can fit it in that door, you might as well. I think that was just another goofy, fun addition. But yeah. Enough of that. We're working on this B-side team, and I'm trying to get a lot of that done first. You notice that I changed this to 1 door, and it's, again, because I'm trying to slow down this team, and I talked about that quite a bit in the last episode. I want to slow down the attacking side team, because I want the defending side team to kind of get some time to get in place, and, they should get to the bomb site before the attacking team, realistically. So that was the other thing, is I want them to kind of be able to get into position and hold that site a lot quicker than the other team can get there. So that's something I'm just trying to keep in mind. And then, you guys see me kind of testing it out right now. I also have some lights around, because I want it to be playable at any time of the day. So those lights aren't going to have a switch or anything. In my opinion, the best way to play this game, or this map, at least what I think looks the best, is if you go over to the what is that island called? I think it's called the Komodo Island, or anyways, the older style hangar over there. If you go over there, you can close the doors up and then kind of change it to like dusk. I think it ends up looking really, really nice in here. So that's kind of where I like to play with it. But, again, you can do it at any time. I'm just going to go back up onto this roof, and this roof will actually change quite a bit. It's pretty bare right now, but later on I'm going to actually add some cover, as in like a tent, I guess, or kind of like a cloth roof. I don't know. You see them a lot in like markets and that kind of thing. So that's kind of what I'm going to be adding. And you guys will see we're going to add a lot more of those later on too. The middle of the map is kind of going to get like this vegetable fruit market kind of thing. And that's where I'm going to make a lot of those kind of awnings and stuff. But for the meantime, we're just kind of starting to detail this place up a little bit. I'm just adding some fake wires overhead here and there to make it look better. And sorry about that pause, guys. The heater once again kicked on, the notorious heater that always causes noise in my background. But yeah, I had to pause. I was just turning that off, so I didn't want you guys to hear the background noise and stuff. But pretty cold where I live, so you're gonna probably hear that quite a bit in the coming episodes. But right here, I am gonna add some more kind of cover around the bomb site. It's very bare over here, and right against this wall, we're actually gonna end up putting a trailer. I don't think that that's going to come in this episode, but it will definitely come in the finished version in probably some later episodes too. But right now I'm just putting our tractor. This is the tiny tractor I made for the carrier build. There's an episode on this little guy. It's kind of funny. It didn't actually end up getting into the tractor or into the carrier build, but it's fun and I like it. I think it's a goofy little addition. So I just want to make sure that you guys can kind of steer it around. I should probably flip it around so you guys don't have to do a U-turn to use it. But it's 5 wide, so you should be able to drive it through most doorways, funny enough. And I even messed around with putting it up here, but that is a little too far away in my mind. So let's just hop in this. And this is by the way, this was the hangar that I was talking about up in not the Sawyer Islands, on the Komodo Island. The Komodo terminal is actually what I believe it's called. But yeah, so we're just playing around with the placement of this one. And later I have a little go-kart that I made, an electric go-kart, and it's not on the workshop or anything, but it's kind of just a fun little goofy creation. So I figured I'd add it into this map. If you guys want me to put that go-kart on the workshop, let me know down below. I have no problem putting it on there. Some of my smaller creations, I don't really bother putting it on the workshop because workshop pages can kind of take a lot of time and whatnot, and it's just a simple little electric go-kart, so it's nothing too fancy, nothing that people haven't done before. And I even played around with putting a warhead in this thing, so that's kind of another funny addition if you want to just kind of, I guess, blow the car up. It's not going to be remote controlled or anything, so it's kind of a self-sacrifice thing. I know I just showed that I deleted it, but I will add it back. And I did add it back, but that's again just another goofy little fun play feature. I'm trying to add a lot of silly little things around the map. Right here I was thinking about maybe making like a little mortar, but this thing didn't work out. I'm not going to do too many cuts on these videos just because I think it's kind of refreshing to show, a lot of the stuff that I do is not a first time thing, and I play around with a lot of stuff. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind. Right here, I'm still working on that, but I ultimately take this out of the map because it's not really aimable and it's not very useful. It's actually just kind of quite chaotic. But this is pretty simple. I'm just throwing it on a hinge and throwing a button on it. I'm going to lower the thrust quite a bit. And I also had this issue, which classic Stormworks things. I don't really know why it was doing that, but that's just what you get when you play this game. Sometimes the physics bodies are really, really goofy, especially when they weigh nothing. I don't know why that is, but if you ever have physics bodies that are acting really, really strange, I would add weight to them. For some reason, that seems to help a lot in the physics for some of the things. You can see I'm kind of spazzing out right there just because it shouldn't be doing this, but it is. So there we go. It's finally, and it's a dud. So this is just, I think, again, it's kind of fun to put stuff like this in the video, especially with these shorter series, just to kind of show the process that I have. I'm in and out of the workbench a lot, especially in this episode, so I apologize for all the cuts there, but, I kind of wanted to show you guys the full process of me building. A lot of it's just kind of trial and error and me messing around with things and seeing what I like and what I don't like. And that looked like a pretty good launch, but it didn't go off. So, and I think that having a giant warhead up there that can be shot at is probably not the best idea. What I will do is later on, I add a man-portable missile and a IED. So the attacking team will get a IED, and that's kind of what we're working on right here. But the defending team will get a man-portable missile that's kind of over by the go-kart. You guys will see that in the coming episodes. I'm not going to work on that side of the map in this episode too much. But yeah, I thought this was a fun little addition. So this is just a warhead hooked up to a radio. It's channel 1, Bool 1. So there's going to be a remote control right next to it wherever we put it, which is actually down here in this tunnel. And so you guys can pick this up and throw it wherever you want. And then if you have a remote control on you, you can just connect to channel 1 and click the 1 button and it will detonate. So kind of be careful with that. I know there's probably some cheesy gameplay that can happen with that, especially if you're on the other team and you spawn with a radio in your hand. But that's, again, I'm just trying to add a lot of goofy little play features to the map just because why not? There's not really all that much going on. You might as well be able to have one of these and kind of chuck it around. And we're going to just test it right now. Looks like it didn't go off. I must not have connected something correctly. And it looks like probably the electric. So I'm just going to put a release button on it too because you saw I was struggling a little bit there to kind of get it off the wall. Normally you can just grab the hard points, but if there's a button there, it'll just make it easier. So we're going to give this one more test. It's a little heavy, of course. Classic Stormworks again. and looks like that works fine, and it's a decent sized explosion. So you guys should be able to also have fun with that. I even had the bright thought of throwing it on the back of the truck bed, and then you could use the tractor bed, and then you can use the control trim and just full throttle it right into the enemy team. I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. And right now we are going to cut to another recording of mine. I'm going to make this video a little bit longer just because I don't want this series to be super, super long. So you guys are actually getting 2 separate building sessions in here. And right now I am going to start working on the defending team. So this is, again, just kind of going to be like a small little tunnel. It's going to be like a choke point. And over here, we're going to have just another building. I wanted to block the sight lines over here a little bit, just so the 2 teams can't really engage with each other at the beginning of the round. But this is also a pretty good way for you on either team to kind of sneak around. So I'm sure that this side of the map is going to be probably a little bit less action-packed than the side we were just working on. So if you want to kind of be sneaky and go around behind your enemies, this would probably be a pretty good hallway to do that in. I'm just going to work on kind of making it look nice. And what we're going to do in here actually is we're just going to kind of make it an empty room, a couple windows. There's going to be some logs and stuff, but we're also going to leave the roof open. And I'm going to do that on purpose because I want you to be able to kind of watch inside of the building from that observation deck that we made earlier. So we're going to do kind of like a lattice work with some leaves on it, some fake leaves. And, you know, that I think that ends up looking pretty good, as well as it kind of puts some light in the room. So we're doing the same thing as we did with the other arch. I'm just going to add some raised walls around it to make it look a little bit more pronounced. And this is actually going to be one of the last buildings we work on. I will say right adjacent to this, we're going to put a little restaurant, I guess you could call it. There's going to be a little food place right outside of this, and we're going to put that right next to this, and then on the other side of it will be that market that we talked about earlier in this episode. So I just got more of those kind of wires overhead hooked up, and I'm just going to add a little jut out to this building, I guess. But this is actually going to be here for a specific reason, and it's so you can get out of the building without facing one side of the map. And I just wanted to make it a little bit more covered, if that makes sense. So you can come in here and then go out the backside and not be seen by people. I think that that'll be pretty useful, especially if you're going the sneaky route and you want to not be seen. It'll just be a nice second path that you can take. So we're going to just grab some props here, and once again, we'll place some props around. I'm going to add a little bit more cover, so you can see from that door, you can't really be seen from either side, and that was kind of the goal. So I didn't like how big that box was, so we're going to go ahead and kind of just put some logs here. So I'm just going to get a bunch of these. We're going to throw some walls next to it so they don't look like they're just going to roll around and whatnot. But yeah, this is going to be, I don't really know what you would call this building. We're going to work on that hole in the top right now. But I thought this building was pretty important, especially to fill out the map. Again, this side of the map probably won't see as much action, but I didn't want to just, you know, have props everywhere. And we still have quite a lot of open space that we got to fill in. So that's kind of one of the solutions we have here. And I'm just kind of working on the lattice work on the top here, and then we're going to throw some green blocks on top to kind of make it look like some leaves and vines and stuff are growing on it. But again, I wanted to keep this open just so if you are kind of spectating the game, you can kind of see people that are in there. The view from the spectator isn't really that important, but I figured, you know, if we're going to have that up there, it's kind of nonsensical to have this roof completely closed in. I mean, a lot of the other buildings, obviously, you won't be able to see into, but up there or up on that deck, you can at least get a good kind of feel for where people are. And so I figured you might as well be able to also look in there. So here I am. I'm just adding some more lights around. This is, again, to kind of help the nighttime gameplay, and we'll kind of check on all this later on. But I'm just going to add a little bit of more detailing around this area, and then, you know, we're going to have to place some props and stuff too. But right now I am going to spawn in and just kind of run around, see how I like it. We're going to check some of the angles so you can see straight through the building, which I did want it to be like that. So you, it's pretty long shot, pretty hard to hit. That's what I wanted, but I did want you to be able to see people. So that was one of the main things that I wanted. And we're going to just add a little fireplace in here, a fake little fireplace, which makes sense because we have some logs stacked outside. And then, like I said, I'm going to add some logs on the inside too. But again, we're keeping these buildings pretty bare, pretty minimal on the inside. I kind of want just the bones of the building to be there so you don't really get caught up on stuff, and also so it doesn't lag your game as much. Let me just get a quick save in, and we're going to grab some of these barrels and we're going to move them. I didn't really like them being up there. And again, we're going to put an actual awning. So you guys will see in just a moment, we're going to start working on that little market that I talked about, and you guys will kind of get a sense for what I was talking about. Real quick, I did want to fill this space in a little bit. So I'm going to just add a fake little platform over here. We're going to throw some steps up on it, act like it goes somewhere. Obviously it doesn't. It's just right up against the wall, the boundary of the map. But again, this is just something to kind of spruce it up a little bit and make the map feel a little bit less empty. So that's really the only thing that we are accomplishing over here. This probably isn't going to get used all that much, but you know, it's a good way to kind of hold this long angle in that tunnel if you really want to. So that just kind of offers the defending team a little bit of cover if they want to watch and make sure nobody's sneaking through there. And then right here, I am going to just add a little awning on the outside, kind of like a tent or a lean-to, if you will. But I think that is going to be just about it for this building. I'm worried about this little section right here. I'm sure you probably can get outside of the map in multiple places, but I'm trying to make sure that you can't easily get out of the map. And look at that. So you can get up here and definitely probably jump outside of the map if you really want to, but you probably shouldn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raise this section up, and then that kind of removes the option, or at least makes it a lot harder for people to do that. So I'm just going to throw some 1x4 slopes over here to kind of improve the sight line from the viewing platform. It adds a little bit of detail, not much, but that is, again, kind of going to be just about it for this area of the build. Like I said, we're going to start working on some of that fruit market area, and that's going to go right about here where we're looking. So this is going to be a nice way to kind of fill the area up. I didn't want it to be kind of like a hard wall. I wanted there just to be a lot of cover. So this is a pretty easy way for us to do that. And I'm just going to throw some random colors in here, make it kind of look like there's vegetables or fruit or something. And we're just going to paste a couple of these next to each other, and then we'll just copy and paste that group and make a bunch of different stalls. All right, well, that is going to be just about all the building we do today. Obviously, we've done quite a bit. I know this episode was a little bit longer, so if you're still here, thank you very much. But we're just going to kind of take a minute and walk around the map and check out what we've done. And real quick, in that time lapse, you guys did see I placed a fruit stand over on the left side of the map. That is not going to be there. I'm going to remove that and kind of change that to a bunch of different kind of items, I guess. There's going to be some coal containers in a trailer and whatnot. But yeah, this is the fruit stand. We're going to move more of these fruit stands over to the left, kind of make the market a little bit bigger. And, you know, I'm just kind of walking around shooting at stuff. At this point, I'm probably losing my mind a little bit because I've been playing Stormworks for a while. But yeah, this is the map. We got the destructible trees. I added that off camera. And, you know, I think it's starting to come along quite nicely. I'm just kind of showing you guys all of the destructible blocks real quick. So you can blast that bridge apart. And this also, if you shoot that gray block, the light post will also fall over. But yeah, we got one more or two more buildings to kind of add here, and that is going to be just about it for the entire map. But that's all we got for this one today, guys. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Your support really helps the channel. And, you know, I'll see you in the next one. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.